Good afternoon. Let me start with a question. For the first time in history, a student, a researcher, a professional, and a CEO can access to the same intelligent tool and technology in real time. The same tools, but different results. So, what makes the difference? It's not the access, it's the judgment. It's not the knowledge, it's about execution. How many of you have you used artificial intelligence this week? You can see around, maybe to write an email, maybe to create a picture, maybe to improve our social media, or to generate ideas, or include to solve a problem. Now, the uncomfortable question that we have to ask each one is, did it make us think better or produce faster? Because this is not the same thing. A few months ago, I was working with executives in a decision-making context, and one thing happened in order to find what is the complex situation that we are going to solve, and it was the pressure and uncertainty. Some open artificial intelligence, and then they say, I am going to ask for the strategy. The full answer appears, the full strategy, it looks clear, structured, with a smart language, professional and convincing. But one thing stopped us in the room, and something interesting happened. No one in the room has clear what was the next move to do. So in that part, the problem that we have right now is not the information. The problem is the interpretation and what we do with artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is giving us answers, but is not giving the judgment of what is the correct thing to do in that moment. For centuries, intelligence, it was hard to find. Knowledge, it was hard to develop. But now we have access to the same tools, to the same knowledge, to the same power, and this is the first time in history that we live in that moment. So today, something has changed in our reality. Artificial intelligence can make a great summary, can develop a strategy, can create an advantage about a personal branding. But the advantage is not something else. It's the ability to think clearly, to communicate better, and to think on how to others they can act. In that part, for a long time, I use artificial intelligence as so many of the ones that we are today here. And we create content, and then we generate the ideas, and we create the plan. And then there are so many thousands of words that we can develop in a few minutes, spend a lot of hours in front of the computer, and it looks that we are very productive. But one thing that happened in that moment is that we are not creating impact. That the things that we are creating with artificial intelligence, they are not moving to take a decision. And if I spend all of this time, maybe it's for the pleasure of the instant recompensation of the information that I get and all the tasks, but without a focus. In that part, one thing that for me was very interesting in that part is that I worked so many years in communication. And then there are three simple variables that we can understand every time that we do a presentation. The first one is the goal, what I want to achieve. The second one is the audience, who is going to listen. And the third one is how much time I have to do my pitch. And this is something important: goal, audience, and time. But now, something that happened, and before this interaction with artificial intelligence, the question that I have to change is, I ask the correct question to the artificial intelligence? what is the decision that I want to achieve with the tools? Who is affecting everything that I'm doing? And one more question. What is the most be true and when is going to happen? So if we don't answer these questions, artificial intelligence is only going to give us motion, but they are not to help us with direction. Communication is not performance. At this moment, communication is decision architecture. And one thing that we have to understand is how to think and how to use artificial intelligence in the moment that we are living right now. Artificial intelligence does not reduce the complexity, it only redistributes, and the most leaders, they are not prepared yet for the complexity that is going the technology at this moment. In the recent years, I analyzed how people communicate, how people they speak in front of an audience, and across the talks, the meetings, and the executive context, one thing that happened is the pattern that is behind the communication. What are the things that they are not doing? And the problem is not the data, it's not the tool. The problem is that the artificial intelligence, we are not doing the right questions right now. But we must own the execution. This is something that we have to forget. Artificial intelligence is going to help us, but we have to execute. And then one thing that we have to understand in this moment is that we have to take care about the responsibility, and the leadership is there, but we can amplify. So, what looks this in the practice? And this is something that there are 3 moves that we have to understand in order to improve our communication, in order to think with artificial intelligence. The first one is the frame decision. We have to start to ask, what are we really deciding with this action, with this problem? The second one is the challenge, the output. What and where could we get, and if we are grown using the artificial intelligence? And the third is the own the message. Can I explain clearly the message in only one sentence? If I cannot do, there are something that I have to improve. When a person starts to use artificial intelligence, it's a very nice process to understand, and it's amazing something that happened. For the first day that a person is using artificial intelligence, one thing is asking questions, and then is getting in love about all the answers, and it's very easy to get the knowledge in few seconds. But we don't produce a result. In this stage, we only make an experimentation. The second stage is when we start to ask specific tasks. So, we start with something very, very easy. We want to be more productive. We want to finish the task earlier. We want to do better quality, less time. So this is something amazing, and we will be very, very proud. But this is not enough. This is only a augmentation. So we are only a augmentation, everything that we are doing. And the third stage, that is the one and the most important one that we have to take care today, is that people, sometimes they never arrive to this level, to speak with artificial intelligence and think with the artificial intelligence, and they start to ask questions, but the question that we are asking, we want to build a system. We want not to finish the task faster. We want to optimize the process, to start to connect the ideas, and then to move to the thing next level, so we can eliminate all the activities that they are not necessary to exist. So you don't work with artificial intelligence, we architect with it. And this is real transformation. In this level, you don't ask the artificial intelligence only, prepare my next meeting. You start one thing, one step forward, and then you say, okay, find the hidden pattern in my communication from the last 25 meetings, and then audit these pitches that I have from 25 points and different perspectives and match my style with the needs of my customer and his or her this profile. When we start to do this, we analyze in a different way. We start to find valuable insights and not only outputs. So you stop giving tasks to the artificial intelligence in order to start giving the context. And when you do this, one thing that is very, very interesting is that you are not using artificial intelligence like a search engine. You are transforming the pattern of your communication in order to work with a thinking partner. And this thinking partner needs something very important that most people, they don't do. That is the frame, that is the context, that is what do you want to achieve. The other day, I was with a group of entrepreneurs, and then the question was, I'm going to use artificial intelligence in order to prepare my pitch. But this is not the question that we have to ask. The question is, here is the video of my students. Here is the product that they are selling. Here is the audience that they are targeting, and then analyze the pitch in order to qualify and to evaluate them. If we start to use the artificial intelligence in that way, we can improve and we can do the task before we arrive to the room, so we can advance what will happen in the next meeting. This is the same that I was working yesterday with a group when they understand what happened, what is the difference between asking something to artificial intelligence behind to architect something with the artificial intelligence. So we use this to raise our knowledge or rise to our standards, but this is something that we can do. So we make experimentation when we discover. We do augmentation when we accelerate the process. And then we do the transformation when we design the game, we develop a new board, and we create a new rules. So experimentation, augmentation, and transformation is the thing that artificial intelligence is going to help us. So in these three stages, the question is, in which one are you? Are you using the artificial intelligence in which one of the three? So imagine the future in 5 years when everyone has access to the artificial intelligence, when everyone has access to the data, and when everyone has answers to the same questions and to the same answers. So what makes difference in that process is clarity, I connect the ideas, and define the direction. That will help us to understand who will be the next leader. So when most people ask if artificial intelligence will replace the leaders, we have to start stopping this question and start asking the real question. Can artificial intelligence give clarity? Can we create better questions in order to get better results? That will not replace leaders. That will help us to think as a leaders using the artificial intelligence. So in a world full of answers, clarity is leadership. And communication needs a new skill. The skill to think with artificial intelligence, to solve actual problems, and this is not a pleasure, it's a request. I'm Agustín Rosa. I am very grateful to be here with you today. Thank you very much. Have a very good day.